Ta-da! I managed to record again, whatever that's called. Magic. What a surprise. So, my idea now, instead of posting randomly, it's now going to be somewhat scheduled. Every time I stay up too late, past 2 a.m., it's currently 3:36, I will record a short little video because I have nothing else to do. Because that's fun. I would text friends, but for one, what are friends? And two, all of my friends are probably either sleeping or don't want to talk to me because, I'm me. My question is, why is life boring? Like, I know that's really, blank question and not a very, how would I put it? It's very plain. It's not, that's the word. It's very vague. My question is, why couldn't life have, really, interesting things to do all the time? I know technically it could have. Well, that depends on what you believe in. If you believe in God, it could have been and it should have been. Me personally, controversial topics. So if you don't like controversial topics and can't respect someone's opinion, go away. I don't personally believe in God. But if God was real, why couldn't things be interesting? Like God's creations, I don't understand. If God's this perfect being and he does everything because he loves his creations, then why does some of the stuff happen that happens? Like dinosaurs, he was just like, okay, these are a thing now. Oh wait, I don't like them, let's get rid of them. Then proceeded to just murder all of them as if they were never there. Then created new things, didn't give us anything, made us naked people to fend for ourselves and hoped that the first beings didn't die. If he loves us, then how come he doesn't just stop all the bad stuff? Like war. If God's so powerful, he can just technically erase the thing that caused the war. And then it'd be fine. Or he could have gotten rid of death and growing old, because then his creations would be alive forever. So my question is, if God is real, then why didn't all of these things happen unless he just sick in the brain, so he's like, hey, let's experiment a bit. What would happen if I put beings on this planet that has minimal resources, but enough for them to live for a long time? Let's see what happens. And then when wars happen, it's pretty much just like a movie for him. So he gets to just sit there and watch. Controversial topic, I know, but that makes no sense. And even if God isn't real, then how come when people start coming up with entertainment, they didn't make stuff for that can last for hours without making someone bored? Life is just really confusing. I know this video's different than what I've done. And I've only done 2 things, so what a surprise. Magical. Well, it's just confusing. But yeah, my opinion is I don't personally believe in God. Well, it's not the fact that I don't believe in God. It's the fact that I haven't had anything to prove that he's real. People claim to have those moments where, they die and they see God. Or, God makes himself presentable sometime in their life. And presents himself. And helps them. That hasn't happened to me. No one around me or me, myself, has had an experience it's like, oh, yeah, I saw God. Or God is real. And if people hadn't been practicing Christianity and all of this back in early thousands, then it would be such a weird topic. Like, we see superhero movies and we're like, oh, that's not believable at all. These people can't fly, people can't do all this. Now, if you look at God without looking at it as a religion, if you just looked at it as an idea, it's even crazier than movies and superheroes and all that. It's like, yeah, there is this being that looks the exact same as all of us, but he created the entire place, put everything here, created this entire universe, can command people, that has all of these followers. It's so weird. It's even crazier than a superhero movie. But people don't look at it like that because they look at it as a religion, as if, yes, this is what happened, or no, this definitely didn't happen. I look at it as in, how crazy is this? Like, for example, imagine that instead of Christianity, we had a religion where there were 5 humans back in the day that learned to control minds. Like, imagine that. Now imagine if we grew up with that and everybody started practicing that more and more. Then we would consider people being able to read minds, these 5 people, as if it was a normal everyday thing that we should be, like, thinking of every day. It's so confusing. And if you think that that wouldn't happen, that's exactly what happened with Christianity. And also, my thing is, people can technically fake Christianity. I know that sounds retarded and all. And like I said, if you don't like controversial topics and you can't talk about this stuff, then go away. But, by the way, this isn't me hating on Christianity or any religion. I respect people's opinions, and if they believe in God, then they believe in God. I won't change that, and I won't try and change that, because that's what they believe in. I respect their opinion. But my thing is, couldn't people technically, fake religion? Because, for example, if you look out like this, someone could have technically faked all of it from the beginning. Because people say, the Bible isn't God's direct words, it's his disciples rewriting what they've been told. So it's pretty much from, a second-hand, what English. It's technically a second-hand source, isn't it? And what we learned in elementary school, middle school, and all that is that second-hand sources could sometimes not be true at all. It could be a fabrication, something created to make this person more popular. So my question is, couldn't someone just gotten a book, written all this stuff in it, and then started sharing it around the world? And then people are like, oh, my lot. Well, it depends on why you believe in Christianity. People can just be like, oh, this is a reason I know someone believing in God that I know personally. Their logic is, oh, I have nothing else to believe in. My life sucks, so let's have something to believe in. And that's God for them. So couldn't the Bible technically be fake, and we just don't think it's fake because no one dares to say that? It's a really controversial topic that not a lot of people like to talk about. But at my age and how I am as a person, I really like controversial topics. That's why I like my big brother's friend. His name's Kadeem. He knows how to have a controversial talk. He's exactly like me when it comes to that. When it comes to that field, he can have a talk that would cause so many arguments without getting mad at all. I'm the same. I can get into a talk about something that's really, really bad and not get mad at all. But like I was saying before, technically someone could have faked Christianity. Like back in the day, people claimed to be gods to become kings and emperors of palaces. That's what back in the BCE, BCE, BC, ADs, all of that time, people would say that they were descendants of gods and goddesses and all these powerful beings, just to have power and popularity and be liked by everybody around them so they can have more power. So my question is, couldn't someone just done that with Christianity and the Bible? Like, they get home, then they start spending their time, their extra time, writing about this all-powerful being that created our world and do all this stuff. Couldn't someone have just done that so they can be more popular? My question is, who even wrote the Bible? And from the time that person wrote the Bible, has it been changed at all? Or rewritten in some ways? Or part of it edited? Like, for example, when I post this video, or when YouTubers post videos, they can go back, even though it's, like, sometimes even when it's already published on certain sites, they can go back and change it, if needed. Even though it's already been recorded. So couldn't people have just gone back into the Bible and rewritten stuff? And re-edited stuff? And made it different so it fit more to society? It fit more to Christianity? And made God seem better or worse? Because technically, as humans evolve, and as we get bigger and better and do all these crazier things, our opinions and our ideas change. Just like taste buds, as you grow up, they change. Can't stop it. So couldn't have someone technically just, as we grew, changed it so the society at the time liked it more? And then we didn't notice because we got so comfortable with it because of how we related to it, because the person changed it. I don't really understand it. Now, none of this is why I don't believe in God. Like I said, I don't believe in God because I haven't got any proof. If I were to have proof for myself of God being real, I would believe in God. My family believes in God. They're not heavily religious, like they don't go to church, but they do believe in God. A lot of people around me believe in God, but certain people don't. I don't know. And this is why I like controversial topics, because it causes all these questions that you can't technically answer, but it's fun to think them and have them sitting there just in case. Also, I like them because they can occupy your time. Like I said before, why is life so boring? This is one of those things I was talking about that can just occupy your time. Make you not bored for that time being. Because this video has been going on for 13 minutes. I've currently been recording this for 13 minutes, 15 seconds, 16 seconds. And this entire time, I haven't even thought about the thought of being bored. Which I was before I started recording this. It's really weird when you think about it. Life is really weird when you think about it. Like before when I said, if you look at God and Christianity from a perspective not as religion, that's exactly how it is with humans. Even if we're just talking about the scientific reason for why we were created, or the religious reason. Let's start with the scientific reason. Atoms, these small little particles, cluster together and they create stuff. Just random stuff. I don't know the actual science. If you want to watch it, look up the history of the entire world, I guess. That's a funny video. But after all these atoms emerge, they create stuff. And as those stuff gets created, more stuff becomes piled together. And a bunch of different things come together until finally they can't take it and they explode. AKA the Big Bang. Now that Big Bang creates stuff. Not how atoms create stuff. Atoms create stuff because they slowly get more compact and bigger and better. and that forms stuff. No, the Big Bang creates stuff differently. It just happens. Big Bang just happens. It isn't atoms coming together quickly or anything. What kind is, but a big explosion happens and it just creates stuff. So it creates a cosmos and a universe. A bunch of universes inside of a bigger thing, inside of a bigger thing, inside of a bigger thing. And because of that, you gotta get smaller. You gotta inspect these things. You go in, and there's a universe. For example, ours, the Milky Way. Then when you go inside that, there's a bunch of open space. And inside that space are planets. Small little planets just kind of there. For no specific reason, but they're there. And then you get smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to the solar system. Ours in specific, even though there are other ones. There's this big ball of nitrogen and hydrogen and helium just there. No specific reason for it. Well, there is, but not for any bigger cause other than getting smaller. Now, rotating around this big ball of gas are other small little balls of just different materials. Depending on the planet, the materials change, and they're rotating around these things because something called gravity. We don't know how, we don't know what it is, why it is. But it's there. It's there. So the planets just go around it. Now in our solar system, there's only so many planets. I don't care about the exact amount because I don't remember, because I won't care. But on these planets, or as we think, only on Earth, life happens. Small little balls of atoms start forming on the planets. Now, the planets already have some forms of life. Well, Earth does at least. The plants, the trees, all that's already a thing. It's there. We don't know why. It doesn't have a specific reason yet, but it's there. Now, there's water everywhere. No reason why. It's just there. Now, in that water, atoms start coming together and forming things. No reason why, but it's there. Now, technically, if you think about it, there is a reason why. The reason why is so the water being there has a purpose. And the reason for the water being there is so the planet has a purpose. And the reason for the planet being there is so the solar system has a purpose. And all back and back and back until all of that being there, so that Big Bang has a purpose. But in that water, when the organisms start forming, they start being able to move and kind of be there more and more and more and more until they evolve. They start getting closer to land. Now, they can't get out onto land yet because the Earth isn't fully developed. They can't get out of the water because of the sun. This big ball of gas that we're hurling around in circles and circles. We can't get out because the same thing that's keeping us alive and there is also threatening to kill us by making it twin. If those organisms, those compact atoms, get out of this body that they're currently in of water, they will burn and die. And again, the organisms don't know that. It isn't a thing that they can comprehend. They just know not to go out because they go out, they get hurt. They don't know why. They can't comprehend it because they're dumb. They're just now becoming things. But they know they get out of this thing they're in, they get hurt. So they don't. But some keep going up to see what would happen. And eventually, one goes up and it no longer hurts. It's called the ozone layer. And all these layers and layers that have been being created by the earth so that these organisms don't die. Now, they also learn to go onto land because as they slowly develop and develop, they get limbs, like legs, and all these things for no specific reason, just to be there. So they get on land and they start figuring out these things that they already knew in the water, but in new ways. So, for example, something they already knew in the water is mate and recreate things like what they are. They don't understand why, but it's just there. So they learn to do that on land, because in water they lay eggs and they're kind of just there, and then they're tiny little eggs. And because the water's there, they can just float there and survive. Now, they go onto land and they realize, oh, when we mate, there's no water. So as we evolve, we learn different ways of doing it, of recreating. So one of the ways that animals that stay near the water is they bury them, almost. And that keeps them compact, not wet, but compact enough to be born. And then those things are by themselves. Another way we learn is as we evolve, we get water in our stomachs. Well, certain of us do. You know, I'm going to end this conversation here because it's going on for a long time with just me rambling. If you want me to continue, if anyone sees this, you can comment it below, like the video, whatever you feel like doing to get my attention. If I get 1 like on this video, I'll continue. And it isn't the bot either, it has to be an actual person. Like and comment. So I'm going to end this here. If anybody is watching this, thank you so much for being here. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe if you feel like. You don't have to do any of these things, but I would so appreciate it. It'd be great. And yeah, if I get 1 like from an actual person, and 1 comment from that person saying that they're an actual person, I'll continue this, starting from us now knowing how to recreate. Thank you for watching, and I'm out of here.